Correct. Today we're going to talk about something, well, it's pretty unsettling. We're talking about a threat that isn't some stranger hiding in the shadows. No, this is about the person living right next door. Let's dive into this hidden and honestly terrifying world of neighbor surveillance.
Okay, so picture this. It's a totally normal day, right? You're grabbing the mail, maybe taking out the trash, and there's your neighbor. They give you that friendly, familiar wave.
Yeah, that one. Maybe they even smile, ask how your kids are doing, how's school going? They just seem normal, a totally trusted part of your neighborhood. But what if that's all just a cover? What if they're watching? Because, and this is the really chilling part, recent events from just the last year or so have uncovered this absolutely horrifying trend. Neighbors exploiting that very trust to install hidden cameras, secretly recording families in their most private moments, and sometimes for years.
And look, this isn't some made-up scenario for a scary movie. This is real. Let's walk through three shocking true stories, real police cases that show just how serious this threat has actually become.
First up, we're heading to Portland, Oregon. This just happened back in January of 2026.
So the way this happened is what's just so terrifying. The suspect allegedly used things you'd never, ever think to look at twice. We're talking about cell phone chargers and power adapters. The things plugged into our walls everywhere. He's accused of hiding tiny cameras inside them to record 6 kids and 5 adults in their own bedrooms and bathrooms, the places you're supposed to feel completely safe. And if that's not bad enough, the police say they found evidence that the footage was actually being distributed online.
Just to give you an idea of the scale here, get this. The suspect is facing 385 felony charges. 385. That one number. Wow, it really tells you just how severe this was.
All right, let's move on to the next case. This one's out of Blue Ash, Ohio, from back in December of 2025.
Okay, so in this case, the suspect is accused of entering his neighbor's house 10 times over a 4-year period. Think about that, from 2021 to 2025. And his alleged target? The family's teenage daughters. Police say he installed 6 hidden cameras in their bedrooms. The breach of trust here is it's profound. He knew the family through their church, and the only reason he got caught, the irony is, he was recorded on their doorbell camera.
And for our last story, we go to Jackson County, West Virginia. This really shows that this is a nationwide problem, not just isolated incidents.
This one involves a suspect who is a local county fair board member, someone the community is supposed to trust, right? He's accused of placing a camera inside a camper to film kids while they were changing clothes. But here's the really modern, scary twist. He then allegedly used AI to create explicit fake videos from that footage. It's just a whole new level of awful.
Behind all these case files and news headlines, there are real families whose lives are just shattered. This quote from one of the victims' families really says it all. The cameras were everywhere, bedrooms, bathrooms. Our privacy is destroyed. Can you even imagine that feeling of safety in your own home? Just gone, completely destroyed.
So all of this leads to the big question, right? Why is this happening now? What is going on that's fueling this hidden camera boom?
Well, it really seems to boil down to 4 key things. First off, the technology. These tiny Wi-Fi cameras, disguised as totally normal everyday objects, they are ridiculously cheap and easy to get. Second, there's access. It's pretty easy for a friendly neighbor to get invited in or find a way inside. Third is anonymity. Think about it, right? We run background checks on a babysitter, but the person living 10 feet away from your family? Not so much. And finally, there's discovery. Digital forensics are just now getting good enough to catch these guys, sometimes years after the fact. And this right here, this is maybe the most important point. For less than $20, less than $20, someone can buy a piece of tech that can absolutely destroy a family's privacy. The barrier to entry for this kind of crime is it's terrifyingly low.
Okay, so hearing about the problem is one thing. It's scary, I get it. But what can you actually do? Let's get into the actionable steps you can take today to protect your private space.
All right, so law enforcement recommends a pretty simple 3-step process. First, inspect, and I mean really inspect things. Regularly check your outlets, chargers, clocks, smoke detectors, anything that has power. Second, look. You're searching for tiny little pinhole lenses that just look out of place. It's a dead giveaway. And third, scan. You can use technology to fight back. There are apps for your phone that can scan your Wi-Fi network and flag any suspicious devices that shouldn't be there.
And the official police warnings really add to this. They say, be very careful about who you let into your home, even that nice neighbor. And this is a big one. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. And finally, if you see or feel anything suspicious, don't just brush it off. Report it to the authorities immediately.
And that really brings us right back to where we started, to the absolute core of this whole problem. The scariest part, the really disturbing truth in all these cases, is that these weren't strangers. They weren't some random criminals. They were neighbors, the very people you might wave to every single day.
It's a horrible question to even have to think about, I know, but these real-life cases force us to ask it. So I'll leave you with this. Is someone watching your kids right now? The key takeaway here is to just be aware, be vigilant, and take those steps to protect your space.